Biniam. Just a heads up again, if it's a quiet ride, I'll flip the camera so it's just kind of showing the road where I'm going. That's my cue that it's a quiet ride and there's not much to watch except for me driving, I guess. So yeah, that's what's up ahead here. That's something I appreciate doing. I'll be right back.
It's actually meant to be because I was planning to take the bus and the train, and it is gonna take me an hour.
Oh my!
I actually started working in Market Mall.
In Market Mall?
Yeah.
So this is close to your son's school?
Yes, it's close to my son's school, but the problem is far from my home. And literally, like, just because, you know,
I can see the distance here.
Like,
I believe.
I took Uber coming here.
Yes.
Uber, like, it's not gonna, like, with the payment,
yes.
I'm spending it on. But the thing is that I wanna, like, you know, it's good to start from somewhere. So
I agree.
I'm working at the Laura clothing store.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Hey, a quick heads up, my dear. I know you've had experience in my Uber before. Yeah. I'm doing something new and different, which is, I will tell you.
Are we live?
You are live. It's only on me though, so you're not. Okay. You're not. I mean, you're on this camera, but I don't share that unless I have permission. Yes, I know. But I just want you to know so that you're careful with what you're sharing or whatever. Yeah. I want you to honor that too. Okay. So
but tell me, what are you? Like, what's the new thing?
The new thing? Oh, this is new for me. Like, here's the thing. Before, what I would do is let me just see where I'm supposed to turn.
Yeah, we can take them.
Up there.
Yeah.
So before, what I was doing was only when I had permission would I share my rides on my platform.
Okay.
But one of the things I've been thinking about for quite some months now is how can I do this in live stream option, where like my followers can like watch in real time as I have time with my rider as well too.
Yeah.
So that's like the big thing. I've never seen anyone doing live stream in an Uber.
Okay, but this one is like confidential, right? Or you're sharing?
This one is live. So this one's live, but it's only on me.
Oh, only
so that's
but
exactly.
When like you decide to share it, if you want, or like where you're.
It's already sharing. So it's already going onto the internet right now.
Got it.
So that's why, like with the live stream, it happens in the moment, like right away, and it's like in real time. So that's why it's so different. And so that's
so people can watch us.
People can watch me. They can hear you, but they watch me. I have the camera facing away from my rider because
I don't mind.
Like, I want to protect her.
Yeah. Got it.
But I want to protect the privacy again.
Okay. But whatever we talk is going to be recorded.
Absolutely. Hence why I want you to be aware of that and say, okay, just so you know.
Okay.
Yes.
And I have to behave well.
But you know, the thing I appreciate is oftentimes, actually many times, it's rare for me to ever meet someone twice in my Uber. Nice. So it's lovely when that happens. Like, this is amazing.
Me too. When I saw it, I don't know if, to be honest, they kept on changing that. Like, I got were you the first one to approve me in the beginning?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because it told me like 2 minutes away, and then it's like 7 minutes away, and then it's like 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, but then literally a minute.
Oh, that's amazing. So when I accepted it earlier, maybe there was others that kept on changing, but when I finally accepted it, I was stuck at a traffic light too, so maybe there is that reference. You might, lose your ride.
So you remember my name?
I do.
Really?
No, I don't remember your name. I saw the name, Dima.
Yeah.
I didn't remember it. Your friend, Winter.
Yeah.
Sent me a message saying, hey, and I knew she was talking about you, and she said, she said, that was really sweet. I was like, that's sweet. This is so special.
I followed you, and then I was gonna like message you and like give you some, not advices, but like, because to be honest, I used to work with like celebrity in Jordan.
Yes.
And I'm into those, like, I don't know how to do the social media and YouTube. Like, I really like you. It's kind of like pods you're doing, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the only thing that I felt, it's very short.
I know.
You can make it longer, right?
Sorry, make what long? Oh, you mean my
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
like 1 minute, and then the other.
Do you know why? Because you're watching it on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So here's my plan, and I would love, so please send me a message. I would love to connect again. I very much enjoyed you,
Yeah.
and I would like to keep connected if you're so interested. But this one here, I feel it's safer, right?
Yeah.
So
But where do you share it? That's why.
so
Camera one.
this one here,
Yeah.
so this one here, let me tell you how my idea
Yeah,
is.
just because I wanna. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. So this is the long form, basically. So there's long form content and short form content. So my new priority when I post online, I want to make YouTube my main one, and I want to grow that channel. And I want to choose YouTube specifically because with YouTube, there is fantastic monetization or ability to make money when you grow big enough.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want to focus on. So that's where I put all my full content, my long form.
Yeah.
And then what I use Instagram for, TikTok, LinkedIn, is just to say, here's just a little teaser, but I want to point you now back to the main one and ask you to be a part of the big one, because when I build there, it gives me more opportunity. So in the future, Dima, what my plan is to make YouTube the main one where I can make good money from and give me more options so that I can have more chances to.
I'm actually into like YouTubers and stuff.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I've had to learn a lot of this, and
I watch them, but
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. Yeah.
I
but
understand.
I know, like, they want to do it.
they can absolutely.
Right?
Yes,
But
and
it's crazy.
it is. My question about when I see people posting content, my question is, what is your intention here?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's many ways that people grow big influence,
Yeah.
but I'm far more interested in
I know
what's the
what's
motivation.
Yeah, but
So-
I know.
yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, because I watch your videos and I see that you're so into like integrity. and
Yeah.
I was watching this, like, yeah,
Oh, I
like,
appreciate you doing that.
yeah, I'm a big fan.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Diva. And I have some big ideas of how for example, earlier today, just in this area here, actually, I picked up a man and I was driving him to the airport, but I discovered as I was loading his bags into the back, one of the bags was just a camera bag. And I said, I need to talk to you. And I told him all the things I've been learning about cameras. Now, I'm not interested in cameras. I'm not interested in live streaming and all these things, but I'm interested in getting a message across.
Got it.
And so to do this really well, I've been doing a lot of studying into areas that I'm not interested in. So for example, with cameras, I told him I've had to do a lot of investigation because I wanted to give a good quality product about my message that I want to carry on. So like if I give my message, but it's in a package that people can't hear or they can't see well, then it brings down the quality of the work that I want to do.
Yeah.
And because I'm doing this by myself right now and I can't afford to hire someone, I wanted to understand what's the best way. So I was telling him, here's the camera I've been looking at after all my investigation. Here's my thought. I don't know much about this world, but I'm learning a little bit at a time. So I wanted to get some of his insight and feedback. And this was a wonderful conversation, right?
Yeah.
In relation to like other elements, I've learned how to, like, for example, do lighting so that they can see you appropriately.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a big
Um,
thing.
Audio, like I have now, like I have like microphones up here as well. So now, for the first time, I just hooked that into my phone to be able to make that work. So it's little investments along the way in areas that I'm not interested, but just
Yeah, can you tell me how did you start like into it?
Oh, sure thing. I'll tell you.
Tell me all about it.
I will tell you all about it. 5 years ago, I moved back to Calgary from Saskatchewan, where I was living for some time. And at the time, I was teaching English, which I really enjoyed. Loved teaching English.
I actually got my bachelor degree in English literature and language.
Amazing. One of my degrees is in English and philosophy.
Got it.
So as I was teaching, I said, let me do Uber part-time. It looks fun. I knew I'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I was so surprised, though, Dima, because I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did. When I started doing it, I said, oh my goodness, I'm meeting the whole world in my vehicle here. This is such a fantastic opportunity to connect. So I made the decision. It was a very serious decision because I love teaching, but I said, let me put that contract on hold and come and do this full time. And as I was doing this full time, I started seeing some consistent responses from many of my riders where they were saying, this has been the best ride we've ever had. And they were like, we've taken thousands and there's nothing that compares to this experience. And even before they get in the car, they're like, oh, this is the best. And I was thinking, there's something that I'm doing here that I would like maybe to share with other drivers. Maybe I can encourage them.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell them how to do the job because they've done it longer than I have, but I'm having so much fun doing this, and it seems like a crime if I just keep this for myself. Maybe if I can share with them some of my ideas and how I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So I started posting some videos,
Yeah.
and I always ask for permission from my riders, of course, right?
Yeah.
Now here's what happened though. Not only drivers were watching, but do you know who else was here? Let me help you there.
Thank you.
Do you know who else was watching? So many other people. So many people
yeah.
in the midst of COVID. They started
Exactly,
watching,
yeah.
and they're like, "We like this kind of connection. This is like really amazing."
Yeah,
And so,
because we don't feel alone. Like,
absolutely. And
Yeah.
so,
That's
unexpectedly, it just grew so much on TikTok. And many times, my riders would say to me, they'd say, "Biniam, you know, Uber's gonna call you soon, and they're gonna ask you to join them." And I said, "I know I'm growing, but there's no way this big company would ever notice someone as small as me. Like, I'm not big enough yet."
Yeah.
So I was the most surprised, Dima, when Uber called me at some point, and they said, "Biniam, we've been watching your content, and we really appreciate and like what we see." And they said, "Can we do some things together?" And it began this wonderful collaboration.
Oh, wow, yeah.
The news media, they started calling me for interviews and stories and magazines, and so it even expanded my connection and my reach that way.
And that's recent? Or
No,
that's
that happened 3 years
years?
ago.
That's
3 years ago.
We started with 5, and
Yes.
then now 3.
Now
and
3, a
then-
couple of years in. And then at some point I started realizing I very much appreciate this influence, but I'm also very aware that I like to know what my story is. I like to tell my story, and I don't like to passively move into an area. So what I was noticing is, and it's not a bad thing, I was bringing a lot of value towards this brand of Uber,
Yeah.
but I was being known as the Uber guy. And the way I thought about it is, my primary purpose in life is not to be an Uber guy.
Yeah.
I want to understand what is the message I wanted to bring to this world.
Yeah.
So it was still the middle of a pandemic. I wasn't making as much money because of that. So I said, let me take a break for a couple of years. I took a different job at a warehouse. I told them from the very beginning, listen, I have goals in life to accomplish. I'm just here for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to drive Uber. And so they said, okay, good. It was driving a truck for a warehouse.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I was thinking as hard as I could, what is it the thing that I want to present? There's so many things that I feel strongly about, and I'm good at so many areas, but what's the one thing I want to focus on? It took me a long time, but over the 2 years, I started to understand, wow, this is the theme that I want to talk about, integrity. I want to explore this theme.
Yeah.
I want to inspire young men specifically. How could you live with integrity? And that's important for me because I feel like I lived a long time wanting to experience it, but not knowing how to and not knowing who I could talk to. So I said maybe I could share some of my lessons, maybe some of my insights along the way. And then as I was working at this warehouse company, they said, Biniam, we love what you do. Could you please consider becoming one of our managers, and could you give us a little longer? I said, okay, I'll give you a little longer. So I worked longer, and it was a beautiful relationship with this company.
Yeah.
But this past summer, at one of the festivals that I went to, I made the decision saying, I know it's time for me to come back and do this full time because I could stay a long time here. It's a beautiful relationship, lots of stability, but I feel like I'm missing the reason for why I'm here, and I need to make the best use of my time right now in the way I'm connecting with this world. So I made the decision, and I told him I must go back to doing this full time, and I like this opportunity because it gives me the option of being able to create content and create conversations that I can also share with others, specifically young men, and hopefully help them. So that's the story of how I got to this point here.
Wow, nice.
And so I feel personally like I'm starting from the beginning again, which I'm very happy with because I'm very patient. I'm not in a rush to get to my destination, and I want to build carefully. And even thinking about how to do a live stream, for example, I was wrestling for the longest time, Dima, with how can I do this and still honor the privacy of my riders if that's something that they value, because that's an important part. But yeah, it's been really exciting along the way. And my friends have seen how excited I am. They're like, oh, Biniam, is this still good? I'm like, oh, it's still good.
But to be honest, you have an amazing personality. That's why, you just really, it's not the positive. But you connect with people so quickly. I don't know, am I right?
You are right. I acknowledge that, and I hear that. I've had to learn how to hear compliments and to accept them. So I hear the
Yeah.
compliment, and if I don't agree, then I'll tell you I don't agree, or I'm not seeing how. But when I hear
But do
something,
you believe, like, sorry,
yes,
like,
that's
that's you
okay.
that question.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah,
like, even me, sometimes, like, even the job that I got,
sure.
like, I just talk about myself. They're like, you have a nice personality, you
Yeah,
have a nice smile and
absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah,
But that, I don't feel that.
you don't feel that.
No, it's not like, I know that, like, I don't like to talk about myself, but I
Sure.
know there is something. But I
Yeah,
mean, like,
yeah, yeah.
I don't feel, oh my god, like, I'm like this. You know what I mean?
It doesn't feel like it resonates for you.
Uh, yeah.
Okay.
Resonates means, sorry, with
It means that you
acceptance.
identify. Yeah,
Identify.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I don't know.
It feels to you
It's
like you're
not like
just.
self-confidence or
Yeah,
stuff, but
yeah,
it's just like as you said, for example, like when people talk good about you,
yeah.
how do you feel? Like,
I feel like I listen to carefully to what they're saying, and if I recognize myself, I'll acknowledge it, saying, "I see that too. Thank you for that. Thank you for noticing."
got
But
it.
if it doesn't resonate, if I don't identify it, for example, let's say the way your muscles are so big and strong, I know I'm not a big, strong man. I'll
Yes.
say, "Oh, interesting. I don't see it, but could you help me understand how you see it?" That's how I'll express that it didn't
got
match.
it. Oh, I like it.
Do you see how I do
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's not,
I
I'm
like
saying, no, that's not true. It's more like I'm saying,
Yeah.
that's an interesting observation. I don't know if I see it yet. Could you help me understand how you see it? Your perspective will be helpful for me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Then you put them on the red seat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a way to say, help me understand what I'm not seeing.
Got it.
But
Yeah.
there's an element where I understand that my personality is memorable.
Yeah.
I know I've worked at it for a very long time. I've worked hard at communication. I've worked hard at understanding the cultural way of connecting with people. And I really value these beautiful things. I think they're
Yeah.
beautiful for me, and they mean a lot. Like, it's very much to the core.
Yeah.
So when someone else notices it, I feel value. I feel
Nice.
acknowledgement, which is a
Nice.
beautiful thing. But I'm not opposed to asking questions. And sometimes, even if I agree, I'll say, I agree with you, but help me understand how you saw it, because that for me is really helpful intelligence
Yeah.
that enables me to understand, am I close to what I'm striving for? Is there a way I can improve, and what my goal is in this way?
So what's your goal?
My goal? I remember when I was working with kids as a teacher one time, and this to answer your question, I told them like when I had the students, I told I wanted to connect with their parents as quickly as I could. I wanted to connect with their families,
Yeah.
and when I connected with their parents, I told them, I need you to know I have an agenda here. My agenda is I know my skill, and I'm going to win your child's heart. I'm going to win their heart. But I need you to understand that there's a reason, there's a purpose behind this. It's just not so that I can have fun with them. It's because I also want to come alongside as a fan for you and your family on the sidelines. So I want you to know, here's my agenda. Here's the things I'll be teaching them. Here's the values that I want to instill in them.
Yeah.
And I want to also you to understand that I'm with you in partnership. So when there's trouble here, I want it to be like a facilitator on the side that helps reconciliation again too, you know. So in the same way, when you ask me what's my agenda or what's my goal,
Yeah.
I feel strongly about earning is the word I use now. I like to earn trust, and I like to earn that space where I can actually have that conversation with people that says, here is the world that I see, and here's how it makes sense for me.
Yeah.
And I would like to hear your perspective as well, because I could benefit from that. But in the midst of that, I would like to share in this human experience where the word I appreciate is intimacy. Intimacy, for me, I heard someone once say, intimacy defined as into me seeing. Intimacy. And it's a beautiful gift when you are able to spend time with someone and you feel that you can be safe in who you truly are.
Yeah.
Because most of us, our experience, Dima, has been the kind where we have experienced the ouch factor, where we have been, ouch, that hurts. The ouch factor for me is when you've been made fun of,
Yeah.
when you've been hurt, all the things, right?
Yeah.
And as a result, we say, no, I won't share that with
Protect
anyone.
yourself, yeah.
But the alternate is when you can experience that space where you are celebrated for who you are. And that for me is intimacy, when you feel safe to say, this is what I really think, here's how I really feel, and you can share that in an open, vulnerable way, which is not easy for many people.
Yeah.
So that's what I really enjoy at the very core of what I do. I'm talking about integrity, but in the heart of integrity for me, it's how to make that impact where I can give someone the experience of what it's like to be true to who they are, and maybe begin their challenging journey in their own personal life of how to live a life that has this feeling where you can show up in the world with confidence that comes from who you truly are.
Yeah.
That's, I think, what really drives me.
Perfect. Another question.
Yes. Please.
I'm gonna be the interviewer.
I would love that. Please do. This is wonderful. I appreciate
Are you
you.
always optimistic?
Great question. Yes, I'm optimistic with realism in there.
Got it. Yeah.
So I don't want to have my head in the sand. I don't want to have rose-colored glasses. I want to understand just how challenging.
What's the glasses there?
Rose-colored glasses.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
That means like a beautiful view of the world that isn't really reality. Yeah. So I usually start off with realism, but after I acknowledge how challenging this scenario is, my question that I'm asking and feeling is there a way that we can experience redemption here? Is there a way that we can experience hope? And I think dispositionally, that's my inclination, because I cultivate a space in my mind and my heart that doesn't have a lot of strife or struggle, and that is it's intentional hard work ongoing for me. It's not just, it doesn't happen by chance, it happens because I'm practicing that intentionally. But I try to do that in a real way where I'm saying, here's the worst case scenario, we're all good at telling that story.
Yeah.
But then how can I learn to also tell the best possible scenario and somewhere find something that's realistic, right?
Got it.
Yeah. Because I've met people who are pessimistic, and it's not a bad thing. It's just the way we're dispositionally wired sometimes. And
why am I asking? Because I feel like negative, what they call it, energy brings negative more negative.
Yep. So to respond to that, yes. So there's an easy influence sometimes that comes, right?
Yeah.
This is where I like understanding how a person feels, if they're an introvert or an extrovert. Extroverts come with big energy, you know, they show up, they get energy from being the life of the party. Introverts are more like, I'll watch, but there's also an influence exchange. Some people are just wired to be influenced in life. They don't have a desire to influence others. Others are like, I want to tell you how things are. Here's the story I'm going to sell you all. So my encouragement to those who are easily influenced is your power that you can learn is how to learn where to get your influence from, and be very careful with that. Move away from the areas that bring that negative influence and go to the areas that bring life-giving influence. For those who are influencers like me, and I feel like I have that energy, and I acknowledge that, I'm thinking, how can I be a good steward of this gift? How can I leave a feeling or an aftertaste that is hopeful, that's encouraging, that is worthwhile? And so I'm very intentional even about the things I talk about, the way I challenge people. If there's a challenging conversation, how can I have that conversation while still thinking, how can I still leave this person in a place where they're not beaten down, but there's potential for growth?
I watched a little bit of your on Instagram. Like you were even talking about relationships. I was in the beginning, as soon as I met you, I was like watching it doesn't show much when you post like on my Instagram. I don't know why.
So it only shows little snippets, and and again, the thought with that for me, I'm going to start including notes that says, for the full video, please go to my YouTube channel, and then that will give more of a fuller context.
And you know where you can add it? In your description.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. I think I like that.
Take the credit for that.
I like that idea.
Say suggested by me.
I would love to do that. My dear friend Dima. I love that.
No, I just maybe on the top, like in the top, like you have kind of a description, right?
Yes.
You can just say if you're into like the whole,
the whole video. Come over here for this. Exactly. Yeah, I like that idea. One of the things I like is just to be very efficient and simple with my investments. But there's I agree with your idea there, and I think that would be really helpful.
The only thing, like sometimes I found that, like I'm very honest, I found it hard to keep track of where I reached, because sometimes, you know, if I just log out, then come back and like all the pictures like shows kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't say part 1. Does it say?
No.
Yeah.
No, it has different
titles. So I was
titles.
kind of like trying to remember this photo.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of memorizing.
That's difficult. I can see the challenge there.
Yeah.
Or
you can see part 1 of 10, 2 of 10, you know.
True. True. I think I'm encouraged that you're finding, well, one, that you're watching. So thank you for watching, and thank you for following and supporting now. That's really meaningful.
But you didn't follow me back.
Not yet. Not yet. When I get those invitations, I'm like, okay, I need to keep track of this because I don't want to get it lost. So when I actually get to it, I have to like, there's a whole string that I go through and say, okay, now this one here, and then how am I gonna like put this in?
You can find me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I still put it in the.
If you want to.
I absolutely. Here's the thing. I'm careful who I follow. I like value first, or also that connection, and our context is kind of beautiful that way too. They were just asleep at the wheel. Yeah.
It's so slippery. I just remembered I'm gonna Uber again.
Oh.
In like 2 hours I have to go to the church. I do have a choir practice.
Oh golly, you have a busy schedule, my dear.
Busy.
On top of being a mom with special needs. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Is this you on the right here?
Yeah, that's the building.
On the left, over here. Let me just.
But don't worry.
I can't go that way.
Under the yellow thing? Yeah.
Under here? Okay, awesome.
But
awesome.
I don't want you. Are you sure? Okay.
I'm very sure. I'm very sure, my dear. This is my pleasure. And then do I turn right here?
Yeah, that's perfect.
I am so glad. Dima, just to make sure though, do I have your permission to like post the video for us?
Yeah.
You were in the dark for the most part. I can turn the light off. But it was a great conversation. It was so good.
Yeah.
And thank you for the questions.
Yeah,
Those were,
welcome.
and the insights.
Perfect. And can I have your number?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
What's best?
Hold on. I'm gonna write it for you so that it doesn't go.
Or
No, I'm gonna write it for you. I've got my pen here.
what do you like? Do you like me to text you?
Oh, that's a great idea. Let me put it in your phone.
Write it here.
Sure.
Nobody has to see it.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay.
And just add your name in there.
I'll add that right here. I'll put it under your phone. Okay, thank you. There we are.
And if you wanna like
Yeah.
this call, should I call you?
Sure. Yeah. It'll come up on my phone right here, and then I'll be like, okay, there's Dima, and I'll save it as well too.
There you go.
There you are. Beautiful. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again soon,
Hope
or
to
hear
see
from you
you.
at least.
Yeah, drive safely.
I will, darling.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, wasn't that a surprise? Oh my goodness. So, I drove her once before, with her friend, and great conversation, and oh, it was really good. And it's rare for me to like run into someone that I've driven before. So like when I do get a chance to, and they know me already, oh, it's so amazing. So yeah, so excited about that. I'm gonna go offline here and come back in just 3 minutes because we have another half an hour ride, which will probably be my last one for the day. So stand by.